Well, I think we might just try Shapeshifter again then. I know we were just talking about the idea of starting somewhere else and switching into Shapeshifter once we've established a little bit of survivability. But let's go for it one more time here. Bring back up my Oni names, and this time around, let's be Kokurozo. Or Logorozo. Okay, misspelled it, but we're gonna make it work anyway. The show must go on, and let's put all of our skills up to a similar place that we were seeing last time. This time shapeshifting can probably stick to 7 until we have reason to change that up. Though I'm kind of tempted, if we're not with Dith this time, to try out the Flux Talisman and see what it's all about. It seems like, yeah, we kind of build up for the outburst of contamination damage. That seems pretty cool. Seems pretty neat. But otherwise, let's go through, get all this sorted. Okay, and that's what happened last time. These are all now pre-selected. Thanks, devs. Nice little quality of life. And of course, we won't forget it yet again here. Let's drop that morgue file. And we can grab the seed for any of you lovely folks trying to play along at home and see how you fare in the same dungeon. See how it goes. Fantastic. Ru plus Oni plus shapeshifting. Ruroni Henshin. Nice, nice. I like it. I guess we're gonna have to hope that we don't find Ru again and that we can live up to the name suggestion. Though I wouldn't mind making it through in one piece here and getting a good solid victory out of the mix. And yeah, I can't wear gloves, right? That's not just because I'm in beast mode. Let's try it out here. Yes. It is indeed not just because I'm in beast mode. So we'll turn back into a hulking beast. Thank you, game. I've been working on it. And just get right back into the driver's seat here, shall we? Again, we didn't find too much trouble over the first couple of floors, so I'm guessing we'll see something similar in this run. We got fairly lucky with that +2 robe of willpower, so we also just have to kind of cross our fingers and wish that something similar will come along over the course of our journey here. But, ooh, we get Manifold Assault. So we could try to get back to the old dream here. The Wombo combo of Dragon Form and Manifold Assault is back to being a potential reality for us in the future. Love to see it. Of course, that is a ways off, and we'll be much more focused for now on surviving these first few encounters. Especially, yeah, Pack of Gnolls is not what I was hoping for. Take care of you, and let's head to a different stairwell. Try and gain a little more experience before we deal with those kiddos again. In fact, already just hitting level 3 was a pretty huge buff in terms of our overall health. Gosh darn it, did not realize you had a poison weapon. That's a big yikes for sure, but we do luck out with the curing potion. Oh, geez Louise. Again, playing a little fast and loose with things here. It's generally been working out for us, but we're definitely running into a little bit of a wall at this stage. So let's try to be, you know, even just the slightest bit cautious as to what enemies are coming our way and what they're wielding. Like you, I did assume you were the same one as before, but definitely could have been something other than the nets that were giving you the purple background. So might have been a good idea to check that out slightly sooner into the encounter, but fortunately does not come back to bite us in the butt here at the moment. And beautiful. Oh, I guess I didn't even really notice either. When we drank the curing earlier to save ourselves from poison, I believe we got the kill with the drunken rage, the drunken swipe, whatever the ability is called on the Oni here. So that's pretty cool. Should keep an eye out for that in the future to see just how effective it is. Again, all I know is that it happens when you drink healing potions, and that it's a cleave attack as well. So unfortunately not something you can continually proc. Except maybe later in the game. you know how you generally end up with just a ridiculous surplus of curing potions? Start chugging those bad boys back just to murder your way through a crowd of enemies. Sounds pretty good to me. Definitely soften up Terrence with a couple of initial blows. I also wasn't paying attention. Did our wizard friend here drop a fancy robe? No, unfortunately not. Oh, but speaking of fancy robes, strength -3 is not amazing, but we have the strength to spare at this point. I mean, +4 is hard to argue with. Bit of fire resistance doesn't hurt either. Let's see, we go from 11, we go down to 10. We do lose 1 of our base damage rating. That's probably not the end of the world and well worth the trade-off in armor class for now. Unfortunately, this time around, we did not get so lucky to immediately run into a protection ring, which can definitely, you know, hole up or stave off a lot of the disadvantages of not having armor slots. But hey, we shall learn to make do without it here. At least that's the dream. And we'll see how it goes. Holy moly. Well, again, an exciting start to the evening here. And hopefully we can find our economical temple. I'm also desperately wishing... Oh right, bucklers are too small to use. What am I doing with my life? It's been too long since I played an ogre, apparently. Already forgetting everything about them as we switch into Oni. But I feel like I'm jumping around all over the place. And the main thing to focus on is running into that economical temple. Or at the very least, living long enough to do so, I guess, might be the first step in that. We don't have great options for a water moccasin. I can hope to net you, and that gives us just enough of an initial burst to make it through in one piece. Very, very nice. And just get right back into the mix of things, shall we? Oh no. And another water moccasin. I guess we do still have the net, but I can't imagine I get lucky enough to hit the 32% for a second time in a row, you know? Well, let's do curing to get a little bit of extra health. Oh, another orc priest is coming? But sir, I was already struggling. Oh, how we struggle. Well, Curing Potion was the only thing that kept us alive long enough to immediately get smoked once more. Gosh darn it. And this time we had an acquirement scroll. Holy. No heal wounds though, so I'm glad that we probably could not have made it out by just randomly chugging everything. Besides, maybe the Berserk Rage could have saved us again, but no kidding, Ramalama. They were having a field day of invoking the don't know why my brain kept trying to say right there instead of Wrath of Bio. There we go. Looks like we're doing a little bit of a two-stream streak here in regards to my inability to talk functionally. Oh, and shoot, I actually meant to change up our name here as well. But I guess we'll be Locoroso once again. Sorry, Thalphon. Name suggestion is gonna have to wait because I'm dumb. Which again, not exactly surprised for any longtime viewers, but if you're new here, sorry to spoil it for you, sorry to break it to you, kiddo, but you're watching a complete dumbass in action. But okie dokie, we'll get that seed one more time here for hopefully the last time. I'm feeling it. This is going to be the Oni to end all Onis. Specifically, I at least want to get to the point where I can try out this Flux Talisman. I want to see what it's all about. How it works. So we find a spellbook with Lahudib's Crystal Spear. Well, not going to be a factor for a long while yet, but nice to know we have some potential option for a complete change of gears if we so desired. And let's try our best to just blitz through the early game as quickly as we can to get back into the swing of things. We'll maybe give it 2 more attempts with the Oni Shapeshifter, and if that doesn't bear out into a solid run within our time constraints here, then we might have to start thinking about switching it up. Could try out the new Felids at least once. You know, we're likely to die right away anyway, so give it a shot and see how she goes. But Spindart, your opinion on the Flux Talisman is to stick on Beast until you find a Blade and Serpent Talisman. Okay, so the Flux doesn't quite do the trick. What is your consideration there? What's the factor that makes you lean away from the Flux? Is it kind of glass cannon-y? Is it just garbage all around? Is there no redeeming factor whatsoever? Or is there at least some kind of situational use case? Well, drink a random potion rather, and early lig as well here. We're swinging off, randomly attacking the rock wall more than... Oh, it was Sigmund. Oh, I was not paying attention. I thought that was an orc wizard. Well, that definitely could have gone a heck of a lot worse, but fortunately managed to scrape by just barely. Another Beast Talisman for your troubles. Unfortunately, I don't think we gain any advantage from lugging around multiples. But that, so far, that's 2 out of 3 runs that we've seen one of the starting talismans within the first few floors of the dungeon. So maybe add some credence to that suggestion or that idea I was having earlier of not starting with the shapeshifting background, but instead transitioning into that kind of as the game progresses. We shall see. Keep crunching the numbers as we see those more and more often here. Flux means you can't use a weapon, so it forces you to unarmed, which is fine, but then it reduces your damage output unless you hit multiple times. Yeah, it's definitely a snowballing effect rather than a wham bam thank you ma'am. So I guess you need someone very sustained heavy in order to make the Flux work. So potentially Oni's a little bit better than the alternative. Oh, that looks like a talisman. I'm going to check out the shop first just to take a quick peek. That looks like lightning form. Storm Talisman. Minimum skill 23. Holy. Our HP would go down to 10% of its normal value. Well, we've got our future set up for us here. I guess that means shapeshifting. You are going to be at it for the entirety of the run here. And now I really need to survive long enough to see that in action. Might be a little bit tough to do so, but we shall do our best regardless. Oh, starting to attract a little bit of a crowd here. Sorry, folks. Came here for a good time, not a long time. So I will murder you all and have a good time. The sun will shine every day. Beautiful. Well, this is an interesting little setup. It's kind of an in-floor Bailey. What am I doing? Okay, heal up as well as get some smacks. Love it. Then let's at least pop out to here before we start chugging back everything. Oh, flying will actually help us outspeed them in the water. And I can also... Oh, I need to survive one more turn, though. Shoot. I mean, chances are I don't, but do we just try it? Is that better or worse odds than drinking this random 2 stacks of potion and hope that it's heal wounds? I guess what are your odds of hitting me? 62% chance of hitting me? Oh, we'll be fine then. Yeah, just go across the water. Heck yeah, brother. Easiest decision of my life, and we're just gonna get the heck out of Dodge. Perfect. Probably not deserved, but hey, take advantage of those random qualified IDs whenever you can, and hopefully this time around things are a little more modular in our approach, and we just face a couple of you bad boys at the same time, as I immediately kind of get ourselves into the same nasty boat as before. Let's see. There's a Potion of Brilliance in that double stacks. Definitely does not exactly do the trick. Also get a Potion of Attraction, and Mutation is not gonna cut it, friends. Well, it looks like the end for us here, unfortunately. Again, playing a little bit fast and loose. Not exactly our best move. Scroll of Summoning will give us a little more leeway here. Very temporarily, but just a couple of turns. Oof. And we even got the Storm Talisman. No. Fortunately, not the tools to survive early on. We got the late game sorted right away here. We didn't even get to an Economical Temple. Well, I guess it was probably the name. It was never meant to be, right, folks? We just... I guess we did say a couple more tries, and this time can be Roroni Henshin and see how it goes here. Maybe that will be the sauce that we've been missing up until now. Again, I do feel like we're going to struggle a little bit in this early period as we just reestablish a baseline of what we know of the dungeon here. Seeing some new faces, some new enemies, as well as shape-shifting in general, so that's fine. Maybe I could have chugged some un-ID'd potion to save it. Unfortunately, we'd gone through all of our un-ID'd potions, so we just had scrolls left. But definitely always important to check in, make sure you have those potions. I was really hoping for heal wounds, because yeah, doubled up heal wounds would have very likely gotten us out in one piece. But say la vie, it is what it is. And hey, gives us another try from the top. Once more from the top. And now, I know he said last time that the seed was going to be the Seed Dental Seeds, and I guess it kind of was. There was a Storm Talisman in the first 5 floors of the dungeon, so, you know, before I switch it out in just a second here, you kids can go nuts on that. But, more importantly, in that little diatribe, the main thrust of it is that this time it's going to be even more incredible. Let's get some, like, Blade Hands nice and early. I'm guessing Blade Hands is going to be the middle step between these kind of early game talismans and those late ones. I also keep catching myself at the last second for talisman. For whatever reason, I want to call them totems. And I don't know where that's really coming from. Guess it's not too important. At the end of the day, the main thing is that I just need to keep correcting myself. Otherwise, I'll embarrass my abilities, or embarrass myself in front of all my friends. Which I'm definitely not already doing as I try to stumble my way through generic speech patterns. So, you know, heck yeah for that. Definitely not at all making myself sound the fool. Opening my mouth and removing all doubt, as they say. But there we go. And not too shabby here. Again, nothing too exciting going on here. We had a nice couple of runs where I always had new content to at least mull over, but now we're back into the general flow of just stomping our way through the first few floors of the dungeon and just hoping that we gain enough leverage over the course of this beginning to make our way through the middle game as well. So a cloak I cannot wear. Right. I guess I might as well untransform and put on the cloak, because why the heck not? Will be absorbed in, but it does mean when we make that swap in the future, we don't have to remember to do so then, so that's fantastic. And probably should not face everyone in the middle of an open field, Ned, but fortunately it doesn't end up coming to bite us in the butt too much thus far, so all is well that ends well, and keep on keeping on. Beautiful. So even if Flux doesn't give us exactly all the abilities we might desire, think we will at least give it a go at some point during our runs here, especially again on a tankier character like this. If I can get some regen going, then I think we'll be in a fairly nice spot. Moving forward, +2 robot fire resistance, don't mind if I do. Similar color to our first run of the day here, but slightly less flowy. You know, probably again better from a martial combat standpoint, but not quite what we're looking for. Ooh, a +2 cloak as well. Now I definitely want to try and potentially swap away from this this beast form as soon as possible, just so we can actually take advantage of that fantastic cloak find. I guess we'll lose our robe though, so maybe just ignore that completely actually, because I don't know if we come out of that any more advantageous. Gain +2 to lose a +2, not exactly ideal. But okay, another scarf here as well, Scarf of Resistance. Now that is beautiful in a different category there. I think we will put it on again. That at least gives us the option to change form. Takes us 4 turns, or I guess 4 odds, to switch over from beast mode into our regular Oni body. So probably a little too late, too late for that resistance scarf, but regardless, still always happy to see it. Resistance scarves are one of my top tier items for the next slot, unless you happen to find a Randart that does better, of course, but generally is not a guarantee by any stretch. Hey Brain, how's it going? Hope things have been well with you, my friend. Always lovely to see you, of course. Could just Ice Blast you into Oblivion, I guess. At least soften you up a wee bit, and then we can maybe take the fight to you. Beautiful. Well, not too shabby here for floor 4. Hey UF, sorry to wake you, my friend. I will leave you to it. We're not about to do a breaking and entering, ruin your whole vibe there. Gosh darn it, these acid slimes are definitely giving us some trouble early on in both runs here. Wait a second. Does drinking any potion make us smack? I think it does. Okay, I thought it was just healing potions that put us into the drunken rage state, but apparently any potion I drink also deals damage. So quaff Ideen potions in the middle of a panic situation, actually kind of good. Also, excuse me, Ufetibus? Ufetibi, maybe? Not sure the origin of Ufetibus, but it sounds like it could be pluralized in the Latin form. They jumped around behind us mid-fight. Very interesting. I guess it kind of fits their sneaky, fast fighting style a little bit more. Again, could be a nice little bit of flavor, as well as kind of potentially screwing us from a mechanical standpoint. Oh, I should have double checked. I don't know what the range on the Bombardier beetles is. Okay, if I can kill the priests right away. Get rolled, friends. Thank you. Otherwise, that was definitely looking like a pretty nasty situation. Yikes. And speaking of nasty situations, Torinski does it again. Potion of Attraction. Okay, I guess we're just gonna have to fight this one out, friend. Let's see. Around 27 health, so we're sitting at half. Let's say you have like 12 health left. You know, just below half. Then, Ice Blast at 3d7 should actually do the trick. Beautiful. Do hear a shout, so let's head over to the stairs before we heal up, just in case some new friends come sprinting around the corner to say hello. And not too shabby whatsoever. Dagger of Electrocution, interesting. I guess another thing that we could try out at some point as we continue to experiment down the trail of Shapeshifter is we've been leaning hard into the unarmed combat. You know, I really give Jeremiah a second here. I really like the thematic aspect of being an unarmed shapeshifter, but I'm curious how well a weapon would do. Just take the slaying bonus as a perfect little kind of +2 enchantment early on in the game. Doesn't seem too bad. And with that sentence finished, who the heck is Jeremiah? Kermit? Definitely looks like some kind of Muppet over here. Baraki Dreamer. Okay, so frog for sure. But they were a peaceful dreamer, prone to impromptu naps. I'm trying to think of what that reference might be. I'm thinking of like Joseph, King of Dreams? That's a thing, right? I don't know religious studies very well, but I feel like I've heard that. Technicolor cloak, robe, scarf, whatever it is. Jeremiah was a bullfrog, true, was a good friend of mine. But they slipped into their slumber while gazing into a magical orb and dreamed of an old and hateful power binding them into service. And so now they search for the precious dream shard that will restore their master's power. Unsure whether they will wake or slumber still. So are you actually evil? Because that's the thing about new uniques. Do I have to try and spare your life? Is that part of my new moral code here? I do like you, Jeremiah. I don't want to kill you, if at all possible. But if you're trying to wake up some deeply unsettled, terrifying being beyond our mortal comprehension, then I probably should. I wish you were looking for the precious dream shard just to wake yourself up from the nightmare, you know? Would be nice. You knew Jeremiah once, real weirdo. In that case, we're taking you down, Jeremiah. Riddle solved. You do have a +4 trident of draining, so I'll actually just be back. But I will see you later, sir. I will see you on the battlefield. Prince Ribbit also hanging out here. Didn't know we were hosting some kind of frog convention. Hello, friends. Welcome back. Man frogs galore. Ooh. This has gotta be necromutation, right? Okay, first and foremost, let's get into a hallway. I don't think this is gonna go well no matter how we slice it, but gonna lig up. Okay, we do get heal wounds. Unfortunately, just the one. Oh, and you do have freaking polearm. So I've made similar mistakes to what we've seen in the past, but I believe we did manage to get through this. Gosh darn it. He's really annoying for melees, the Jeremiah is. I guess I didn't really pay attention. What else? Before we deal with this two-headed ogre. Yeah, what spells did you have? Blink, range, smiting. Oh, that's always fun. Another smiter. Hurrah. Again, a nice little disadvantage to throw the way of all you feel-it players out there, which I can't imagine really exist in any meaningful numbers. But okay, I don't know. Where did the butterflies come from? Because I don't think you read a scroll or anything like that. We are seeing these butterflies that appeared out of the blue. So that's interesting. But okie dokie. Unless the tree form leaves us in the next few moments here, we are in for a little bit of a rough and tumble. Fortunately, we're able to soften you up just enough. But never mind. Actually, not too bad at the end of the day there. Holy moly.